calorie tracking is the way to go because it's almost a guarantee. If you learn how to do it and you understand what it actually is, it really
Hmm.
just makes weight loss come down to a science. It's like guaranteed if you actually do it the right way. And then also walking. So walking is just so much more sustainable than running. Like I still enjoy running, but you can do walking every day and not get burnout or tired. Running, not the
Different
same thing.
story.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Your joints feel it and everything feels it, but walking is you can just keep going and going and going. Like, even if you're walking like 12K plus steps, like your body's still gonna be fine with that as long as you ease your way up to it. So definitely agree
Mhm.
with that. Walking is the workout I do every single day, and then I pile in workouts throughout the week on top of that. But the walking is really the anchor and the foundation that allows me to stay at a weight that I want to try to stay at.
Mhm.
So when you discovered calorie tracking, for someone who's brand new to this, like how do they figure out how many calories they should be eating, and then what kind of tools do you use to make sure that you're doing everything the right way?
That's a good question. A lot of my clients ask the same things. I mean, usually anyone can access a TDEE calculator. You can just find that on Google, and gonna have you put in your height, your weight, your activity level, and based off of that, it's gonna give you a good estimate of what your total daily energy expenditure is. And so if you put that all that info in, it's gonna give you a good estimate, but it's not always gonna be accurate. So that's why in my program, I kinda help my clients find that, like, the closest number as possible by having them track their weight every day, and then also tracking everything they eat, because when you do those 2 things, you can see
Mhm.
how their TDEE shifts from time to time. When you're wanting to lose weight, you just eat in a deficit, so, for example, if you wanna lose weight at like a moderate pace, you would take 500 off of that TDEE. So, for example, my TDEE currently is, I think it's like 3,200 calories because I'm a pretty active person. Most 5'10" guys have a lower TDEE, but I get a lot of steps each day. So, I would just, if I wanted to lose weight at a good moderate pace, I would take 500 off of that. So it would be, um, 2,700, yeah, 2,700 calories per day. And that's if you do that every day, you're
You're gonna
gonna
lose
lose
weight.
weight. It's
Yeah.
like, there's no way you're not going to unless you have, like, some thyroid problem.
Yes. Absolutely. Yeah, and that's, like, definitely the truth, but for a lot of people who haven't done it yet, like, they always say, like, "Oh, here's why it's not like that for me," but a lot of people, they haven't done it the right way because there's usually a few mistakes that people make. What have you seen when working with clients and whatnot? What are the biggest mistakes that people make when counting calories?
They drastically underestimate how many calories certain things can be, like spray, like cooking oils, peanut
Yes.
butter. Like, people, they don't actually use a food scale, I've noticed that. They just maybe they eyeball it, and it just you can't do that. Us as humans, we always underestimate things, and so once you actually use a food scale and put it on there, you'll see that, "Oh, wow, this is a lot more calories than I thought it was."
No kidding. Yeah, there's so many secret calories, especially in like usually the tastiest foods, and there's tiny quantities with so many calories. We talked about this on the last episode of the podcast. We talked about with Alicia, talked about how like peanut butter is huge for that. Cooking oils, like you mentioned, are
Mhm.
they sneak up on you incredibly quickly. Sauces are another huge one too,
Yeah,
where people will be putting on like 400 or 500 calories of sauces and not
yeah.
even realize, which is
Even small things like
yes,
but this is kind of off on a tangent, but my wife,
go, yeah.
tells me about this Reddit story she read once of this person who was gaining weight, and they're like, "I don't know why, I'm, like, not eating that much." And then, one of their friends was like, "What do you have right there?" And they were popping, like, a bunch of Tic Tacs, and he's like, "Oh, yeah, I eat, like, four of these each day." And he's like, "That's why." 'Cause, like, even small things, if you eat them in a large quantity, those calories can add up.
They add up a lot, and that's why it's so important to once you figure out how many calories are in things, you start to make better choices with your food because you can think about, "Is this worth this many calories for you?" Right? And when you
Exactly.
think about it like that, a lot of foods, you're like, "That's a quarter of my day's calories for this food, like, that's definitely not worth it," and then you start making better decisions. But one thing I will say from following your content is that you make food that looks really good and is also calorie conscious. So how do you go about picking food that still tastes good but allows you to stay within your macros?
That's a good question. Oh, a lot of the time we like Cam my wife and I, Camden, we search for really good recipes that look like they would taste good that we would wanna eat every day because when we meal prep, we're gonna eat that for the whole week, so we want it to be
Mm.
good. If it's not, we're gonna be miserable.
Yes.
I guess just finding, foods that kind of, like they're high in protein, but they also include certain things that we like. Like, we like cheese a lot, so we we make meals that have a lot of cheese. We also like kind of it's called calorie banking, so you can save, like, your
Mm.
calories for certain days, like, more calories than other days. A lot of people kind of have a negative view towards that because, like, "Oh, that's like an eating disorder," but it works for us,
Mhm.
and it allows us to eat things that we really enjoy. Like, for example, one of our videos from, like, a month ago, maybe, we ate some Krispy Kreme donuts, like, a whole box of them, each of us, and we were completely like, we were still losing weight. It's because we saved the calories for that day. It just people don't understand that it's really just comes down to simple math. Like, if you can save certain calories and it will allow you to eat whatever you want.
Totally. That's the beauty of tracking calories, and you can do that. I think the most important thing, like why we have this show in the first place, is to show that you can achieve the goal that you want in a bunch of different ways, and that's kind of the whole point, right? Finding a way that works for you. And so, obviously, Caleb,
Exactly.
you found that you like to bank calories for a specific time to have more of an indulgence, and that's something
Mhm.
that is good for you and it works for you. And that's really what it's all about: is finding something that you enjoy and that's sustainable, right? Like it seems like I will say, obviously, I'm not with you every day, but when you're like posting and everything, it looks like you're enjoying everything and you're not really thinking about it that much. You're just going about it. You know what I mean? That's the
Yeah.
place you want to get to.
Exactly, it just becomes natural. A lot of people, I think, at the beginning, when they're first starting to calorie track, it's really hard and
Hmm.
tedious, but once you start doing it for, like, months and months, it's really just it just becomes normal, and you don't really even think about it.